Hi everybody. Welcome to solving two-step equations. Not just one, but two. Notice we have negative 2 multiplied by this number, some number. And then 3 is added. That's our two steps. The number is multiplied by negative 2 and 3 is added to it. And when that happens, we get 13. So we can guess and check. We could say, I don't know, is it 1? Is it negative 2 times 1? Plus 3. Does that give us 13? Well, let's see. Negative 2 times 1, that's negative 2 plus 3. That gives us 1. It's not 1. We can do that, but there's a better way. Let's try negative 5. So negative 2 times negative 5 plus 3. Does that give us 13? Let's see. Negative times a negative, that's a positive. Plus 3 gives us 13. 13 equals 13. Yes. So we got lucky, we guessed right. X equals negative 5. That was our guess, and we guessed right. Guess and check is always an option. Try example 2. What divided by 5 gives me 3? Oh, I don't know. Is it 20? 20 divided by 5 plus 3 gives me 28. Is that it? Wait, no. 20 divided by 5, that's 4 plus 3. That doesn't give me 28. That's not it, so I pull out my eraser and I'm guessing. Guess some more. It must be a pretty high number. Let's see. Is it 100? 100 divided by 5. Let's see. That's plus 3. 100 divided by 5. That's 20. No, I'm getting closer. Getting closer. You might start thinking now, wait a minute. I need this part to come out to be 25. It's got to be 25 because I know 25 plus 3 is 28. So you might start thinking, what number divided by 5 gives me 25? Well, that's 125. If you're starting to think that way, if you look at this piece and you say, oh, that's got to be 25, then you're on your way to working backwards. So 125 divided by 5, you can use calculators on this. That's 25. 25 plus 3 is 28. So that's the answer. X equals 125. Now, I just mentioned looking at this piece by piece. And if you're already comfortable with working backwards on one-step equations, then it will make this easier. It'll make this two-step equation part easier. Because look back at number 1. I can think of it this way. What plus 3 gives me 13? Well, it's 10. 10 plus 3 gives me 13. So the way I can look at this is, how can I make negative 2x equal to 10? How can I make this part equal to this part? Now it's a one-step equation. So now I can look at it. Negative 2 times what gives me 10? Oh, it's negative 5. That's another way to look at these problems. But the way you're going to use most, I think, in your math career is work backwards using our good friend PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, the order of operations. So you don't do parentheses first, you do parentheses last. You do addition and subtraction first when you're solving equations. So I look at this equation. I've got my variable. It's multiplied by negative 3, and then 6 is subtracted from it. So when I'm working backwards, I'm going to do addition and subtraction first. So that means I need to get rid of this minus 6 first. So I will add 6 to both sides of the equation. These will cancel, and I'll be left with negative 3x equals, let's see, negative 12 plus 6, that's negative 6. So now I'm looking at negative 3 times what number gives me negative 6? Since this is negative 3 times the variable, I will divide by negative 3 on both sides of the equation. Negative 3 divided by negative 3, that's 1. Negative 6 divided by negative 3, well, that's 2. So I'm left here, I kind of ran out of room, x equals 2. And if I check my answer, let's see, negative 3 times 2, that's negative 6. Then I subtract 6, and I get negative 12. That's the right answer. So let me erase that and move on down. Lastly, some number divided by 4 gives me 7. I'm using PEMDAS backwards, so that means I get rid of this plus 7 first. I do the opposite. I subtract 7. I subtract it from both sides of the equal sign. I like to draw a little line here because it tells me where my equal sign is. So plus 7 minus 7, those cancel out. And I'm left with x divided by 4 equals negative 7. And since this is x divided by 4, I do the opposite. I multiply by 4. Kind of running out of space here. Multiply by 4. And I will be left with x equals, let's see, negative 7 times 4, that's negative 28. If I check my answer, let's see, negative 28, negative 4, divided by negative 4 is positive 7. So, wait a second, what did I do wrong? Let's see. That can't be right. Positive 7 plus positive 7 is 14. What did I do wrong? Oh, I know what I did wrong. Did you see how I dropped my negative sign? I needed to multiply by negative 4. Oh, that was it. Negative 7 times negative 4, that's positive 28. All right. See how it helps to check? So 28, positive 28, divided by negative 4 gives me negative 7. Negative 7 plus 7, that gives me 0. Good thing I checked, right? Right. Okay, good luck, everybody. Be good.